the access thought, and access should be included. It cannot be an afterthought. It should be included in everything we are doing. So this afternoon, it's important that we listen to the presenters and panelists, but also it's important, it's my job, to make sure that from the floor we can have a discussion. So I'm pleased to ask the first invitee to join me on stage. And I will ask first Dr. Alice Malan to come to the stage, thank you. And also Mr. Emeka Okoli. So, and after that, I will call the panelists on stage. Thanks for coming. And maybe just the best is for you to present yourself and make the presentation. So,
Thank you very much. Moderator, I'm the Managing Director of Chemical Process Technologies Pharma. First of all, I would like to thank the WHO for organizing this very critical event, and also the invitation to participate, and the Dutch government for being such an excellent host of this meeting. And the one benefit of being at the back end of the meeting is that everybody has spoken about the why and the what, so I can talk about the how do we do this. And I think at this stage, the title of my presentation has already been answered. Being able to manufacture APIs in Africa is no longer a dream. It's a reality and an absolute necessity if we want to have a successful, competitive, and sustainable pharmaceutical manufacturing industry in Africa. Next slide, please. When we look at APIs specifically, we need to remember that APIs, depending on the final product, they contribute between 40 and 80% of the cost of that final product. To a large extent, it also determines the quality of the product that you will use. And that will, in turn, depend on the manufacturing technology that you use as an API manufacturer. As a technology-driven industry, you can either develop the technology yourself, or there's a lot been said about technology transfers and licensing over the last few years. At CPT, we've decided that we have to develop our own technology. Although there's a place for transfers and licensing, if you really want to be independent and competitive, you have to develop your own technologies. It's a more cumbersome route, more challenges around it, that's for sure. But as I said, for us, the independence is being the owner of your own technology. Is our technology working? First of all, this business model was based on our experience in the animal health industry, where we've been active for the last 20 years, and it has worked very successfully. So we translated this onto the human pharmaceutical side. And since we started the company, CPT Pharma, 9 years ago, starting from very, very little, we've been working on and still working on 11 different APIs. We were able to develop the synthesis technologies in our laboratory. We were able to scale up the processes that we've developed for 3 of those APIs and demonstrate the success of our technology in the pilot plant. And finally, we will be commercializing our first production plant next year based on technology that we developed ourselves, taken through all of the steps. This takes a focus on APIs that we're working on, obviously, the obvious disease loads within South Africa, but it doesn't mean that we will stop there. Next slide, please. While we were developing this technology, we had to do 2 things. We had to develop and install capacity to actually develop the technology and scale up the technology. So since we started in 2014, we've been able to build a very well-equipped research laboratory where we can house researchers not only from South Africa but across the African continent. We're also part of the API cluster, that's an initiative from the South African government to focus on APIs that are of critical importance to South Africa and develop technologies that allow us to manufacture those APIs cost competitively in South Africa. We also have a pilot plant where we can demonstrate this technology. The pilot plant was GMP approved by the local national regulatory authority of South Africa. And we have a GMP license to manufacture 5 different APIs on this pilot plant. And then lastly, as I mentioned before, we've designed and built our own commercial API manufacturing plant that will go commercial, and we also aim to have this plant WSO PQ certified. While developing this capacity for manufacturing and technology development, we also have to train people. Skills is a scarce commodity as money is in South Africa. So we have to train people because you have to remember that there's no API industry in South Africa. So the skills that we need, we have to train those people. We have to find people, train them from developing your processes to designing, but also on the regulatory side, the quality control side. Make sure that once you start a commercial plant, you will have the human capacity as well to support what it is that we're doing. So that's what we're doing. And in Africa, there's a saying that if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And that's something that we realized very, very early, that we will not be able to go by ourselves. And really need to thank the partners that are listed on there for their support, both financially, also helping us in development of technology, and improving our regulatory system and our quality management system by providing us with support and guidance on these standards and systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernest. And now I have the pleasure to give the floor to Emeka. So, Emeka, you're from the industry in Nigeria, from Enzo Pharmaceutical Industry. You are the executive chairman, and I think you will present the perspective from the pharmaceutical company.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to apologize in advance because my voice is a bit shaky because I'm suffering from a quite severe fever for the last 4 days, but I'll try my best to make myself shaky. Yes, as you said, I represent Emzo Pharmaceuticals, which is a Nigerian-based company. I'll give you a brief introduction to Emzo, the pharmaceutical side, and talk about the API project that we're undertaking. So we've been around for 5 years, for 5-year legacy. We expanded into 4 separate manufacturing sites, from which we produce over 160 products across 26 different pharmaceutical classes. We also have strong brand recognition in Nigeria because we've been producing quality medicines for such a long time. And we have over 2,000 employees. So just a brief overview. We first started in 1977 as a single chemist shop, and expanded to the 4 factory sites, and also the latest project which we started undertaking in 2021. So I guess the 4 or 5 strong things we have about Emzo is we're one of the leading pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria. We have a strong product base and very strong distribution, especially in Nigeria and West Africa. We have experienced staff, both management and employees. We are on a solid expansion plan. API is one example, but many other products as well, as we prepare to take advantage of the free trade agreement in Africa. And we believe we're in a very strong and relevant sector, especially in Nigeria, and I think COVID kind of opened the world to see how important that was in Africa. So we operate modern factories. We're using modern equipment, and this is a subset of the some products we produce. So our expansion plan is based, we call Quingain campus. This is our 4th factory site, and it's in an industrial zone, and we have facility space. So these are current manufacturing plants we have within Quingain. 2 are finished and operational. 3 of those are being constructed and finished, which API is one of the 3 that we're producing. So the production first started on site in 2018. So we continue to build and put more plants in that area. So a little bit about the API strategy we started. So first of all, this is part of our strategy for backward integration to go back because we have a strong finished pharmaceutical portfolio. We decided to go into API manufacturing. We chose Mpela for 2 key reasons. One is it's it's an important disease for the continent to take care of, and also we have a very strong and growing portfolio in the anti-malarial space. We are working with several partners. So one of them is Mpela Drugs and Organics, who are WHO pre-qualified producers of anti-malarials and other things. So the reason we decided to go with tech transfer is because this is our first venture. We didn't want to go through any kind of common mistakes. We just wanted someone who does this at highest quality, and also does this commercially, so we don't have pitfalls and we accelerate, we get into that position faster. The other partners is European Investment Bank, who are part funding the expansion of our API plant. And as you rightly mentioned, we're also working with API for Africa, who is a non-profit organization, and the key is to help us to market shape and market access as well, because it's important that we approach it against commercial relevance. So this is the kind of layout. I guess it's pretty typical. We have a main plant with utilities and of course a QA/QC lab, warehouse, some tanks, ETQ processing, which is separate from the ETQ processing of the pharmaceuticals. And this is about taking about a month ago, so it should have progressed. We are about 5% complete in production. And that's just the actual production plant, which is the most important piece. So that's pushing completion. So overall, the civil works is probably about 85% complete now. Most of the equipment and machinery is already on site, so which is installation. We have strong engagement with NAFTA, which is our local regulation. This is important as we are ready, that they are also ready to properly regulate us, so they're doing also capacity building. And part of the future work we're looking at, so this is not part of the current project, but we have this in mind to, I didn't mention the full process we're going to do is solvidoxine, promethamine, artemisinin, and lumefantrine treatment. So those are the full projects that we're doing now. And we're looking to do possibly in the future amaloquine, artesunate, and RNID. So these are all anti-malarial drugs. And the target launch date is for Q1 of next year, and possibly also commercial launch in Q1/Q2.
Thank you so much. One question to you. We're going to talk about API. Do you produce API only for your product, or do you sell API?
That we intend to sell. So initially we had a ratio of maybe 60-40. We use about 40% of what we produce, and we sell about maybe 60. Then with the EIB funding, that's enabled us to expand, because the EIB were regional. They said it has to be regional, it has to be impactful in Africa. So with the additional funding, we can double the capacity from 200 tons annually to 400 tons annually.
Thank you. Some other questions will come from the audience later, but I will invite the panelists also to join the stage. So one is virtual, is Mr. Seth Seleke, I think he's online, but I will invite Cyril Mpela, Ngain, and Bouro, please, to join us. I hope that Cyril, thanks for joining us. You're from WAPO, and you're the coordinator of the West African Medicine Regulatory Harmonization Initiative. It's close to my heart because I'm a former regulator, so regulator one day, regulator forever, so it's quite important. And I would like also to invite Simon Blayer. And Simon, your for the global health of chemistry, manufacturing, and control, and non-clinical toxicology from TAC, a great partner of many of you for sure, but also a great partner of United. Look, so maybe I will ask our colleague online, Seth, who is from the regulatory agency, the FDA, in fact, of Ghana, to make this presentation. Seth, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. Good afternoon, panel members, and good afternoon, participants. I want to use the opportunity to thank you for this wonderful forum. We are learning a lot, and I think it will help us, especially in Africa, to become API manufacturers and also to be self-sufficient or self-sustainable as far as pharmaceuticals and biological products are concerned. So, as we said, once a regulator and regulator from a regulatory perspective, we all agree that it is not proper that in Africa we receive most of our pharmaceuticals as imported products, be it raw material, be it finished products, and we have that we are going to change the narratives as quick as we can. In terms of regulations, it is very important that we harmonize our regulatory requirements across the continent. And I think that in the few past years, a lot of mechanisms have been put in place to address that the African model law, the regional economic blocks, all helping to, and also now we have AMA, the African Medicine Agency, to ensure that we have our requirements, regulatory requirements in terms of guidelines, in terms of guideline documents, all harmonized. But that is very important as far as we try to become producers of raw materials and recipients. Again, from a regulatory perspective, we need to build capacity. Regulators need to build capacity in drug substance and recipient synthesis, development and production. Regulators in Africa are more used to finished products, processes, but we are in a period where we are saying that where we are going, we need to make capacity building of our authorities in this area very priority, that we will be able to support the industry as different projects start up. And in this line, it is important that even within our regulatory authorities in countries, we have industrial support services where we will be helping industry when projects start. We know we have to wait for it to reach a very advanced stage before we can, but that will start the projects together with the industry and grow together with the industry as far as producing raw materials on the continent, which are quality assured is concerned. At the same time, regulatory authorities, we need to build a lot of partnerships, collaboration with research institutions within our countries, outside our countries, outside and even outside Africa, all in support of this initiative, which after COVID-19 pandemic, we see as very important. Another important point that we need to look at as regulatory authorities is the fact that we need to do everything possible to retain the professionals that we have. We have situations in countries where sometimes due to political changes, you realize that people who are the skilled force within regulatory authorities move to other areas. We need to do everything possible to ensure that we retain our professionals and even have initiatives that will help to bring more people who have the know-how on board to help industry, so that we will not be seen as authorities that are delaying processes, that are delaying approvals and things like that. We also need to advocate for international partnerships that promote technology transfers. we need to be part of the process of projects with respect to raw material production, or respect to raw material development and production from the onset, and help also in the area of technology transfers by building partnerships. These are a few statements that I want to bring to for discussion as we go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Seth. You rightly insist in the need of harmonization. Sibyl, can I call you Sibyl? Thank you. So your experience in terms of harmonization in particular, I think that you will share with us. So I will give you the floor for your presentation, and I will come back to you on questions. So thank you, Sibyl. Can we have the slides, please? The glitch in the computer. There we are.
Thank you. We'll be talking on setting the goals and defining the roadmap for ensuring the IP developments and its acceleration and manufacturing at the African continent. So we would look at the fact that the continental free trade is supposed to boost inter-Africa trading with a combined GDP of about $2.5 billion, and that it creates reliance on regional neighbors, producing API closer to the manufacturers of finished products, as well as to cross the users and defining the ability to build confidence in health systems. And then that would cause a reduction of course in price of the APIs, because most of the APIs currently are imported, and that makes the difference between products that finished products that are imported as compared to those that are produced internally within the regions. So it becomes a competition, and then we also want to meet the target of 50% that has been stated by the African CDC to ensure that by 2024 we're able to cover 60% of our own internal production. So this all means that we have to work together and then identify the products that we need to look at. Currently, from our two presenters here from CPT and so on, they've been able to tell us some of the products that they produce which are very relevant in terms of API, and then also to look at the fact that these are across the common disease areas that malaria, TB, HIV, and all that. But then we also have to look at certain disease areas that are also emerging, like hypertension, diabetes, and then other infectious diseases, Ebola, and those issues, and the cardiovascular and respiratory oncology. So these are all areas that we have to look at. So looking at that, we definitely have to look at the fact that if we, the sub-Sahara Africa, we want to, which of course we already have a good size of the markets, this is about 65 billion compared to the 225 globally. We take a chunk of demand impact. The industries in South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Togo, and then Uganda are not able to produce the quantities that we need. Roughly, we normally would take about 35%, and in the region of Cocoa, about 30%. So then what do? Basically to look at the global market area. We have to look at how we can increase production, how we can look at the potentials of the API existing and even increase more. And we also have to look at the issues of stepping up for more potential producers within the region. Good. So these are some of the strategic areas that we have to look at, which are the 8 strong components. We have to look at policy coherence, which has been spoken a lot during this meeting, investments, the incentives, the regional, continental dimensions, the product portfolios, technology transfers, and human resource, and regulatory oversight and quality assurance. We've spoken a lot about it in the various meetings areas. So, but then the key criteria was on quality, we have to look at the commercialization, the feasibility, and then the full procurement of the APIs through the supply chain, which will enhance production. So if the manufacturers of APIs are producing, how do we move on with the cycle? We need to be able to purchase it for other manufacturers within the sub-region to use less. And I'm very happy also with the fact that they tend to produce the maximum where they can use 40% internally and then also sell about 60% to the other manufacturers locally on the continent. I think that's very much appreciated. We need most of such development areas. So if we have to set goals to achieve that, it has to be smart. Normally, it is said that if you set a goal without a plan, then it's just a wish. So we have to look at the specificities. What are we saying? We're saying that we want to accelerate the regional or continental API development in the region with a good goal, but which types of APIs? We have malaria, we've had HIV, we have all that. There's more disease areas we have to look into, and then we have to do is that we spread it so that there don't be too much competition among the manufacturers and that the market becomes an issue. It has been meaningful in terms of why the goals have to be actually established at all, and the importance of it to increase the demand for what is intended for, which of course will also produce affordable medicines. It has to be actionable, and then it has to be realistic. So if you look at the roadmap, it's showing the timeline, which would help us. There was the first meeting 2 years ago, which was specially by the World organized by the WHO, by the World Local Manufacturers Forum, and then it's been repeated. What I'm going to say is that I've been taking stock of what the discussion was made in the first meeting, and this one has going to be blend together to move forward. And if it's so, then we have to really identify the potential APIs and existing API manufacturers and see how we can address it. But the first point of view, we have to put a strict and vigorous actions into play if we want to get the achievable outcomes. So I would project it between 10 years. We may say that 10 years is quite short, but if we run the force, we'll be able to achieve certain targets. And then, of course, we have to look at investment, the government incentives, the tax holidays, which have been changed over and over again, and then other policies, frameworks for API, technological and regulatory support, looking at the market intelligence, which a lot of information from McKinsey and other stakeholders wanted a lot of markets. How do we put those information together so we don't have to reinvent the wheel, and then address those issues and move forward to see how we can put it into practicality. Then we have to look at the collaborations among all these key stakeholders. How we will put the 3 C's together in terms of coordination, collaboration, and communication to ensure that all these aspects and discussion that we're talking are going to be effective. And of course, the production and then the procurement. Then I'm amazed when you look at across the whole dynamism, human resource development cuts across every level of it, which has to be ensured for us to be able to make sure that we have the good research backgrounds and then other areas of competency and skills development that we have. So for me, setting the goals is important to define the roadmap, but the practicality is that we have to be able to collaborate effectively and coordinate and communicate among ourselves to network and make sure that everything we're doing is in the right direction. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the VAG for this invitation and also I want to give a conclusion to my director, who is the Professor Sobie. He's present with us, he came to support this topic. So, Professor, if you my prof, thank you.
Thank you so much, Philippe, and you're right, you can't have myself human resource to create and sustain this capacity. I will come to you with 2 questions. You highlight several points, but from your side, what is the impact of the regulatory impact of API in the success of this area?
We need to have a stable, the word is stable. As for regulatory, it's ongoing. There is national regulatory systems, there is regulatory supporting with system strengthening, regional harmonization process going on, there's, leading towards AMA, the marriage processes. But then, how stable are they? Are we vigorous and robust in our work? That's where we want to get to. Truly, we have maturity level 3, some are 5 on the continent, and then aspire to get to maturity level 4, some are pushing to 2 and over. So until we get to a point where we can say that yes, the continent or the region can definitely support the API manufacturers to create that confidence and the quality and safety product that we think we need, which would actually quickly respond to regulatory issues that are relevant, then we cannot say that we are stable. The stability would also be able to indicate that are the regulatory agencies or the regulatory system that has been created determines the stability of the pathways, or let's say the life cycle of development, and then of course supports the expertise and provide all the services from the line of production. Seth was saying that there's a need for the regulatory agencies to support the production of APIs along the way from the beginning to end-to-end production processes. So that is what we want to see, and even not only through the submissions and development, even to commercialization. That aspect also should be looked at. It's the work of the regulatory agencies in the region to be able to support, whether it's a small molecule, it's oral lipids, it's large molecule, sterile injectables, whatever stage, it should be equipped, regulatory agencies should be equipped enough to easily support the manufacturing processes within this region. That's it.
Thank you, Steve. Just on that, I will give the floor to Emeka for his perspective on that. How the regulatory environment can help civilian system stability. Is it from your side an issue, or what do you see as kind of progress that you would like to see?
I think, first of all, I have to thank our regulators for engaging quite early in this project. So, very strong supporters, that's very important for us. First of all, to ensure our local production. They do have a way of regulating what's being imported, so we just have to involve them in testing regimes, the analysis, etc. So it's very key for us, because I think before we think of exporting, I think other confidence has been gained from other regulations before they allow imports from Nigeria. So that is part of the scheme when they start to engage other people as well. I think it's important that we are maturity level 3 in Nigeria, and they're seeking to get the appropriate